Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Wiz of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. Today I'm talking about entrepreneurship education and job creation in Africa. And I'm saying African universities must create new wineskins for their new wine, this entrepreneurship education. And this is part one of two parts of my talk. Yes, 2022 in the News, Research and Africa. It is said African higher education curricula failing to train youth entrepreneurs, and there is a calling on African higher education institutions to strengthen entrepreneurship education and training. Say that the traditional curricula have failed to train youth to be self-employed and job creators. Yes, find this at that link. In the same year 2022, Maliro John, Susan Kurgat, and Moi Philip of Moi University in Kenya published their research findings in the Canadian Journal of Education and Social Studies. Kenya's entrepreneurship graduates look for wage employment rather than employ themselves. And yes, I want to say that I've been in many countries in Africa, South Africa, Egypt, Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana. I've been to Lesotho, I've been to Rwanda, I've been to Tanzania, Uganda, and the story is just about the same. Students of entrepreneurship are seen carrying placards asking for wage employment, yet they are supposed to start their own businesses and create jobs for others. Now, let me take a trip down memory lane. 1938, Kobe University, Japan. 1947, Harvard Business School, the USA. Yes, that origin of the university entrepreneurship education. In 1938, there are some traces of it at Kobe University in Japan. But in 1947, it's now concrete. Harvard Business School, Harvard course, Management of New Enterprises. Of course, as it was being introduced, there were other general business courses which existed, management of, MBA, business stats, and so on. But the focus of the new course was creation and management of companies, which means entrepreneurship has the objective of creating new companies. In Africa, entrepreneurship came at around 1990, in the 1990s, thereabouts. And I am proud to say I was on the committee that introduced it at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in 1992. At Jomo Kenyatta University, we institutionalized the University of Illinois in the US, a curriculum and a course, but the course was producing teachers of entrepreneurship. At JKUAT, we converted it to produce entrepreneurs. The objective, to produce graduates who are able to create their own jobs and employ others. Now, same year 2022, Fahinde and Su in the Journal of Entrepreneurship Education traced the impact of entrepreneurship education programs in developing countries. This was a systematic review and research agenda. Yes, they found teaching methods and programs that are practiced in universities in Africa. There was teaching about, that means to make students aware of entrepreneurship. There is teaching for, to develop entrepreneurial skills, and there is teaching through, to develop real business projects. And the findings were that the majority, most of the universities teach just about entrepreneurship. Students know what entrepreneurship is, you know the history of entrepreneurship, you know the fathers of entrepreneurship, you know the principles of entrepreneurship, and that's it. Then quite a number are teaching for entrepreneurship, where entrepreneurial skills are developed, and very few are teaching through entrepreneurship, developing real business projects. And Eric Flask of the Malta College of Arts, Science and Technology elaborates on this teaching about, teaching for, and teaching through. It is a three-tier approach. Learning about entrepreneurship means informing the students about entrepreneurship, learning to understand entrepreneurship, knowledge about entrepreneurship as a concept, and then learning for entrepreneurship. That means training and forming, learning to become entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial skills and competencies are developed. And then learning through entrepreneurship, that's experiencing, learning to become an entrepreneur. Knowledge and entrepreneurial skills pertaining to business startups and venture creation. And like I've said, learning about dominates. Learning for is also quite seen, but learning through is the least. And how do we test the students? We test mainly on learning about. We test on knowledge about entrepreneurship. And therefore our students pass very well, get first class honors, but indeed, because they did not go through entrepreneurship, they are unable to start their own businesses. So, wait a minute. Where did the rain start beating Africa's entrepreneurship education? Well, the good book, the Bible, tells us no one puts new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is lost, and the skins as well. But one puts new wine into fresh wineskins. That is Mark. But Matthew says, no one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. And indeed, the good book, the Quran, has also something we can relate this to. In Islam, there is a prayer when a new cloth is put on. Oh Allah, make this dress such a source of blessing that whatever I may try after putting it on should be of gaining. The message here is, whenever we introduce something new, let us tailor that to the objectives for what it was brought in force. So, our entrepreneurship education, have we tailored the teaching to the objectives? Well, if you enjoyed it, like it, comment, share, and subscribe so that we can bring you more. This has just been part 1. We are continuing with this in part 2. So look out for part 2 on this channel. Otherwise, thank you for listening.